Hello and welcome to day 12 of our US fall road trip. This was going to be a really simple day. We were staying at the Cedar Point Express Hotel and today we were going to visit the Cedar Point Park. A super easy day in terms of logistics. We just headed to the park, rode a load of roller coasters and then back to the hotel. After yesterday's super busy day in terms of visitor numbers to the park, Cedar Point was dead. Just look at the parking lot. This was in part because of the horrendous weather that had rolled in overnight. There was a howling gale, frigid temps, and rain was heavy in the air. We were actually worried about a washout. We had arrived early as staying in the hotel grants you early access, but luckily, as we were both really tired and didn't want an early start, early access was 10 AM and regular opening 11 AM, so we arrived about 10:30 after a nice easy morning. However, not much was open and we were getting really worried the last day of the season would be a bust. But soon enough the big rides started their test runs as the park got ready to open, so we headed over to the big daddy of the park, Millennium Force. We managed to get onto Millennium Force straight away with near zero queue, as the ride was part of the early entry, and in fact it was the only ride apart from Wild Mouse that was open for early entry. Millennium Force is the park's biggest ride. It was the first Giga Coaster, a ride over 300 foot, and still one of the biggest in the world. And while it's getting on for 20 years old, it's still one beast of a roller coaster. We managed to get a front row seat and bring you this point of view ride. The next ride on our list was Steel Vengeance. This is considered by some as the best roller coaster in the world, and after taking a ride, we are not going to disagree. This Rocky Mountain construction coaster uses a hybrid steel track and wooden frame to create a ride capable of doing things very few other rides can match. It really has shaken up the roller coaster world, as on paper this is only an average ride, but the way it twists and turns and packs in over 27 seconds of airtime into its run is staggering. It's a truly amazing coaster that has left the roller coaster world scrambling to keep up. We came here with the intention to film all these rides via our spyglasses, but unfortunately they cut out and stopped working right at the top of Steel Vengeance, leaving us with no way to get any more footage of the rides. Next up was Maverick. Maverick is a double launch coaster from Intamin that is far more than its its parts. The ride is really aggressive and has some great bank turns and airtime. On paper it's only average, but in reality it really shines. We then took on Magnum XL 200. This was the forerunner to Millennium Force, and while it's no longer one of the tallest coasters in the world, it's still a formidable ride and worth the time to check it out. We then moved on to the various B&M coasters that were here at the park, starting with Raptor, a B&M inverted coaster. Unfortunately, we didn't really get any usable footage of either Raptor or Magnum XL, so we'll move on to the other rides that we did get some footage for. Next up, we rode Rougarou, our B&M floorless coaster, and highly underrated in our opinion. On to Valriden, a huge dive coaster with a 214-foot vertical drop. That hold at the top is seriously frightening. The final coaster we took on was Gatekeeper, situated right at the gates. We rode this on our way out. It's a B&M wing coaster and one that is a lot of fun. It has 6 inversions, including the crazy wing over right at the start, and a couple of really tight keyhole passes above the gates. We love these wing coasters, and Gatekeeper is about the best we have ridden. Remember to ride both sides of this ride, as you get a totally different ride experience. We hit the ride twice, right at the end of our day. It was still quite early in the afternoon, but after a monstrous trip up until now, we just wanted an easy day. While I love coasters and could have stayed all day, Kate was done, so we headed to Chili's for some serious comfort food and then called it a day. We headed back to the hotel and got ready to kick on for the last 3 days of our trip. Tomorrow we start bright and early and headed for Chicago. Like and subscribe to follow along with the final part of our trip.